John, the Internet of Everything, a very broad concept. You say the whole movement will add another $14.4 trillion to the economy by the end of the decade. Where is all that growth, where is all that prosperity going to come from exactly?
Well, the exciting thing about the Internet of Everything, it's the fourth generation of the Internet. First was about email and techies talking. Second was e-commerce. We rode that horse pretty well. Third's around social and cloud and mobile. And the fourth is around digitizing the world. It's really going to be connecting everything. It will change our education. It will change our healthcare. It will change our productivity. It will make our lives better in so many different ways. And it will occur everywhere in the world across all key industries. 14 trillion in profits means a lot of job creations. It means a lot of capability for infrastructure, but it really means that IT will once again be the primary way that CEOs or government leaders differentiate their company or their country versus their peers. Government leaders get that as well in terms of how it will change healthcare, how it will change education within their countries, how it will create inclusion of different jobs, etc. So what it does, it speaks to an environment where the infrastructure, we'll call it application-centric infrastructure. I know you've got a technical audience, but it really means you will be able to put the applications anywhere in the network you want, and you'll ride this opportunity of cloud, mobile. You'll ride this new generation of applications, more consumer-like. You'll ride big data, not crunching numbers in a center, but most of the big data decisions being made in motion at the edge of the network in a retail store, in the car, on a manufacturing floor, or in the hospital. And you'll be able to do this with security and privacy across it. So I think it will be the biggest movement of the Internet, and if we do it right, this is one of the key moves we will make to become the #1 IT player, not just #1 communications.
So you mentioned a few industries, car manufacturing, healthcare. Where are the pioneers right now in terms of the Internet of Everything? Where are you seeing the most activity?
Well, it was fascinating, Rob, because when I started talking about this, we started 6 years ago with smart connected communities. Then we started 4 years ago moving around electricity, which, by the way, we now are the #1 player. Over 80% of the jump balls we win on moving electricity around through the Internet. But a year ago even, the CEOs, when I talked to them, were polite and curious, but that was it. Now most of the CEOs get it. You don't have to explain to the head of AT&T, Randall, what it means to him. You don't have to explain to Mike Duke at Walmart what it means to them. But the ones that get most excited are the manufacturing segments, because they understand how this is going to change their shop floor, connecting all the devices, and much of the information made machine to machine and machine to people, getting you the information right when you need it to make the right decision, or to interface to your customer in the way that customer wants you to, with privacy, etc. And so you're now seeing it across the board, but I'd say the early adopters are in manufacturing, retail, automotive in particular, extremely interesting within it.
I know another issue you're very passionate about is a new IT model you see emerging. Can you explain that a little bit for our readers?
Sure. You know, it's interesting. You and I were comparing notes earlier, Rob, back to literally 2005, and this shows you how important it is to pick trends well before they become obvious. In that interview you did, and I was reading it, the first thing we said is intelligent networks will combine data, voice, video across a series of networks, go underneath IP. The second thing we said within that, virtualization of resources and services. Third is application infrastructure. And the fourth meant that we had to move into data centers. All of that has happened. And if you watch today's environment, we're the clear leader in the data centers of the future. It's us with our storage players. It's where the creativity is. In areas that are commoditized for most of my peers, like servers, the UCS stands alone in terms of the value add. Areas that are our weakness, like mobility, we bring it through. And so what you're going to see is this movement, using technical terms, from the 7-layer OSI stack to 3, which is what we said at Interop, the show we're at, it's been 6 years ago. And those 3 are the platform in the middle, the infrastructure on the bottom, and applications on top, and you're going to be able to program to the applications, but you're also going to be able to provide programming to the infrastructure where they talk together. And this is where application-centric infrastructure comes to life. That's what enables the Internet of Everything. That's what makes IT much more relevant to achieving the business leaders and the government leaders' goals, whether it's job creation and inclusion, or healthcare at the country level, or at the business level. It's about innovation, it's about growth, it's how you interface to your employees, your customers, different with security. Our future looks pretty bright if we execute right. Challenges in front of us, but we're pretty optimistic about becoming the #1 IT player.
Thank you, John.
Rob, it's always a pleasure.